Well, I'll just go with one then, and that would be the Eagles and Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
That has nothing to do with this game.
Sorry,
It's
Brad.
a matchup for this
Sorry,
game.
Brad. We're talking about the upcoming 1:00 game this upcoming Sunday, Lions versus
Oh,
Browns.
matchups in the Lions game.
Correct.
Yes, so like
Correct.
Outside the den, inside the barn. Motor City Pride. We've been waiting long. Mic check 1, 2. Podcast booth tight. Been breaking down plays every Sunday night. From the den, we step to the bar, we roll. Analyzing film clips. How the stories told. Lions on
All right, welcome One Pride to episode 4, going into week 4 of Outside the Den, Inside the Barn. I'm Jake. Here's Lyle. Josh isn't here at the moment, but he'll be joining us shortly. We should have an appearance from Crazy Play Steve himself, and maybe a call from Breaking Brad later. But once again, welcome to this week's episode. Lyle, since you're the only one here with me at this exact moment. So, Lyle, how you feeling, man?
I'm feeling fantastic, man. What an epic game. You know, a chance for the Lions to show everybody that the week 1 situation maybe was just a little bit of rust knockoff here, to go into a place where really nobody, and again, you can look at all of the predictions and even before on the Monday night cast, you know, that the Ravens were going to take this one. For them to go in there and to play the game that they did and to have the performance that they did, really uplifting.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you know, it reminded me after that week 1 game, it kind of reminded me of last year. You know, last year we saw league-wide with them, you know, adding another game and everything that, you know, and less and less teams playing their starters in the preseason or playing meaningful snaps in the preseason. You know, every team last season got off. Those first 2 weeks were really sluggish, you know, not a lot of high-scoring games. And that's what week 1 really felt like worst-case scenario of that, barring injury. But, you know, for us to drop a 50 burger in week 2 and then really take it to the Ravens, who, you know, I know their defense is currently ranked last. Granted, they played the Buffalo Bills, who are arguably the best team in football. Right. You know, the Eagles have a claim to that. As of right now, the Chargers do. But, you know, the Lions to take it to them, score almost 40 on them, you know, look great on all 3 aspects of the game. And to do what they did to Lamar Jackson and to Derrick Henry is something most teams can't do. Even the best teams in the AFC can't do. Absolutely. I think uplifting is a fantastic word to use, and I think that's probably how we all feel uplifted, right? We all are excited about, you know, what that win means for this team. So, but yeah, no, I'm with you, man. I'm excited, ecstatic. You know, we were talking about it briefly. We didn't really go to sleep when we got home, right? You know, we didn't have a long commute from the barn, but, you know, I know that a lot of Lions fans weren't.
Yeah, I felt excited to be home before midnight, honestly. I'm thinking to myself, this is going to be an after midnight thing. And then it turns into an after midnight thing when you got to sit down and start, like you said, rolling through Twitter and just making sure, you know, seeing all the comments on there and then watching some of the media availability after the game and then the videos that are being done there. It was really... you want to hold on to that. So, hey, you know, sleep be damned for just a little bit of time. I'm going to celebrate this Lions win.
Oh, absolutely. All right, and Josh has joined us mid-conversation. So I already asked Lyle it, so we kind of took a slow start to hopefully give you some time to get back. But, Josh, how are you feeling this week after that Monday night victory?
Tired but happy. I mean, didn't get any sleep that night. Tried to hopefully they were going to replay the replay, but they didn't. And but watched pretty much any of the post game. Switched over to the NFL Network. Really, you know, nothing too outstanding, but you know, hungry to want to see that game again. Just, you know, based off of we were going in underdogs and we came out on top.
Yeah,
and solid play. Probably
right.
I mean, I know that the week before they played as a whole unit, they played well. Last night was against somebody that was a little bit tougher, and 2 nights ago, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we were talking about it, right? You know, I mentioned it to Lyle a moment ago. You know, the Ravens have the worst ranked defense in the NFL. The players they have on that defense, you know, their numbers are bad. It is not a bad defense. They're playing poor, but like once again, for the Lions to drop almost 40 on them, for the Lions to really keep them under 30 up until that last minute garbage time ding. Touchdown. It's so, you know, Lyle used the word uplifting. That's how it felt.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, Obviously, if we go into the predictions, I had them losing. You changed your mind, which is, hey,
Yeah.
kudos to you.
Pretty close on the score, too.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
But, I would have been happy. Not really happy with the loss, but it would have been okay with the loss with the effort they put forth.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, we brought it up in the, post-Packers game, too, that really solemn episode we've had where, it would have sucked to lose. We hate losing to the Packers especially. But if they would have just put up a fight that game or it was a competitive game, you saw some bright spots in there, you could kind of go into these next couple games feeling pretty good. And the Lions are right now in a position, we'll get into that in a little bit, but in a position to really potentially go on a pretty big run here, which right into the bye could be huge for the rest of the season. So, really quick, I'm going to surprise the boys with this.
We're gonna feast, 50 burger on the table.
So now it's time for our term of the week. And, the boys don't know about this one. I thought of this one kind of on the spot. But as I said in our, I think our very first episode on the original channel that we were using in your original channel, I love it when my fat boys score. Love when my fat guys score. I talked about popping champagne for it. So I'm going to refer to the phrase, we did pick six in week one. Mm-hmm. We're going to talk about what is a thick six. Okay, that's a thick six. All right.
Let's see one of those this last weekend.
Yeah, I think there might have been two. But regardless, so this last weekend in the NFL in week 3, it was, 9, I think it broke an NFL record in the Super Bowl era, but 9 defensive or special teams touchdowns.
Right.
Most notably, at least the one I want to highlight. So first of all, leading up to the one I want to highlight, there were also a lot of blocked extra points and field goals this week. I think there was 3 or 4 of them alone, which was crazy. You don't see that happen often. But in the Los Angeles Rams and Philadelphia Eagles game, Jordan Davis, a defensive tackle, a big boy, I think he's over 6'5", over 320 pounds. He goes in, blocks the field goal. Granted, now it would have been kind of inconsequential with the time left. I think they would have still been down 1 with that field goal. They would have had to obviously make that field goal, get a collect the onside kick, and then the Rams would have to score on a Hail Mary, which Matt Stafford can do that. He still has an arm at his age. But Jordan Davis blocked it. Another Eagle that I can't think of took out the special teams guys. Jordan Davis picked it up and ran it all the way down, expiring clock for a touchdown. So a pick six is obviously when somebody intercepts the ball. A thick six is whenever a big, heavy guy, usually we're referring to the defense, but sometimes I guess people can consider it for offense if an offensive lineman gets a score. But it's when a big guy on defense ends up with the ball in his hand and he takes it all the way to score a touchdown. Once again, in the NFL, there's only a handful of guys that are lineman size, such as Patrick Ricard, the fullback for the
Ravens,
who didn't play in the game, who could qualify as a thick six, but generally the bigger guys on the field, the guys wearing the highest numbers outside of the 80 range, don't score touchdowns. They don't get to touch the ball outside the center. So generally for us former linemen, do that glory days thing right there. But us former linemen,
include myself in that.
Yeah, I gotta include myself. Yeah, I did nothing with my football career, but it's fine. But yeah, so it's always exciting to see a big guy like that score because you don't get to see something like that happen. Lifelong linemen have that kind of expectation that you're here to do the gritty work, you're here to do the work that doesn't look good. When you do great, nobody notices. When you do bad, everyone notices. So it's really cool to see a big guy like that have their moment to shine. Not everybody gets that opportunity. I know in a lot of the snaps I had, I never once had an opportunity to return a fumble, to intercept a pass. I was stuck scrapping in there. So to see a big guy like to score like that, do that is awesome. So term of the week is thick six. You may have heard it this past weekend. Term of the week, something near and dear close to my heart.
From my basement set up to the world I speak about this franchise that's no longer weak.
All right, so obviously I think there's been a lot of reviews on the game. I think the tone of the Lions have changed after this week. But really quick, watching that Monday night game, it was in Baltimore, so we couldn't go to the game. I mean, we probably could have, but it would have been pretty expensive, a long trip. Obviously, we had to work the next day.
It looked like there was definitely a few Lions fans out there.
We travel well. We travel. Not us right here.
Well, let's go Lions. You heard the chant at the end of the game.
That's true. Yeah, I'm sure we probably, it was kind of tough because we were having fun singing Gridiron Heroes during all those touchdowns. But I'm sure there was a couple
hoarse singing it so many times.
Yeah, I can feel it. I can still feel it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But so before we get into our takeaways from the game, Josh, I think there's a thing you want to touch on real quick.
Yes, I would like to address some controversy surrounding the show.
Uh-oh.
Yes.
Breaking news, breaking Josh over here.
Yeah, it's really kind of the reason why we're doing this show is to just record our memories, record, the moment of, so we don't, hey, did that happen, or, whatever. Mm-hmm. And it really kind of started a couple Christmases ago. Lions played the Vikings to seal the NFC North with that pick by Iffy. And my sister-in-law, Breaking Brad's wife, Linda, was recording. Yeah, was recording us during that play. And I don't know how many views it got on Twitter, whatever, but it kind of took off a little bit. My mom's basement got kind of featured, and it became kind of a joke. And
you jump up and hit your head on the ceiling there.
Yeah, that is very low basement. But in the end, it was a moment that was recorded, and I kept watching it, and I'm thinking, that was a moment of happiness. If you look at, the Pursuit of Happiness movie, when he gets out of that interview and this moment,
the fist pumps. And,
that's the kind of stuff. I've had that happen before. In college one time, I remember one of the first exams I got back after retaking a class, I got a real high score on it. I actually had to walk out of the class before it started and do the fist pump just because I was so excited about it. So it's those types of moments that I just want to remember. Mm-hmm. Now, one of the things that comes with that is putting up cameras, recording, doing all that other stuff. Mm-hmm. I've been accused by my family.
Accusations.
Of playing to the camera.
What?
Yes. So do I get a little excited when it comes to the games? Tune in after the credits roll, and you'll see some clips from the game. Was I a little excited? Yes. Was this a game that I didn't expect to see? Yes. Was it a game I loved to see?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So, in that regard, I'm not ashamed. Well, I'm embarrassed by some of my clips, but
it was PG. You're fine.
Hey, I know.
Should say on.
It was
okay.
Yeah,
that's right.
But in the end, we had fun. It was a smaller watch party because it was late game. Father-in-law came out, and his comment was, "I've known you for over 30 years, and I've never seen you that loud before. I was glad I was here to see that." So, going forward, I'm not playing to the camera anymore. I'm playing to Leroy.
There you go.
Yeah. All right. So, controversy over. I can't play the game, but I can give 110% when I'm watching the game.
Yep.
So,
and first of all, I know you don't have a drink, but Lyle and I, this episode, cheers to Leroy.
Cheers to Leroy. Yes, he stuck with us through the entire game.
Yep.
His
Trooper,
first watch party out here with us was after watching the Green Bay game. I didn't know if he'd come back, but he stayed until the end. And again, in the end, we're capturing this excitement, the happiness, so that we can watch it 20 years down the line. Our viewership is kind of going up. We're getting 50-some views, which is great.
I think we're close to 90 on last week's episode.
90 already, really? I
think it was 86. While you're still talking, I'll double check that.
That's fantastic, and we appreciate it. And guess what that means, viewers? Right now we got, 9 subscribers?
Yeah, 9.
So I know there's a lot more shows out there that have many more subscribers, but I think it's time we maybe start thinking about a giveaway. So spread the word, comment on tonight's episode, like the episode, comment on tonight's episode, refer a friend, have them comment saying, hey, my friend blah, blah, blah sent me here, tag them. And as you can see, we do have some merch that we can give away. We have a coffee mug to wake you up after those 2 o'clock games. Mm-hmm. We have some pens when you want to write down your memories. If it's a tough game but still we win, we got a whiskey glass. And if it's a really tough game and you really want to hide yourself, there's the flask. So
I'm gonna make an executive decision, even though you're the one who spent your personal money on it. So every 25 subscribers, we will do a giveaway on a video. You do have to comment on the video, and I'm going to determine this one. So the first giveaway, once we hit 25 subscribers, and then the next one will be 50, we're going to go with a Outside the Den, Inside the Barn whiskey glass with the logo right there. That will be also included a pen and a couple small stickers. We'll do another batch with some bigger ones.
Tiny stickers.
Very small stickers.
But yeah,
You might need a magnifying glass, not included.
So you'll get a pen, you'll get that, and we will pick randomly from that. Obviously, some of us may be subscribed to the channel. We will exclude ourselves. We already got the free stuff for being the host, but every 25 subscribers, just make sure you enter in, and we'll just say, what is your favorite Lions memory, right? We will not base it on, if somebody even just says, oh, when I won my fantasy Madden league or draft league with it or something like that with the Lions, that made me a Lions fan, that's fine. We will not go based off of your comment, where we will do it randomly. But once again, every 25 subscribers will give away something. After we give that away, we'll announce what the next thing will be. Down the road, maybe it'll be different stuff. But right now, we got some pretty nice stuff, pretty high quality stuff, actually. It's very nice. I use mine all the time. Enjoy my morning coffee.
Hopefully the coffee.
Primarily the coffee. You know
right.
what? I don't drink what a whiskey glass usually drinks, but it's been a nice little water glass.
Yeah,
put some water, put some liquid IV in there.
Yeah.
So
and as always too, we have the watch parties out on the barn here. And if you know us personally, or you're a relative that's a little bit distant, hey, just contact us. Let us know if you want to come out and enjoy the fun. Just let us know. The only reason why we want you to kind of let us know ahead of time, just so we can make sure that we have enough food for you and set up the chairs. So definitely.
And make sure to get ready, your voice ready to sing.
We will have the lyrics for you, but you might be called to the mic.
That's
and
true.
if you tune in, you might see it in a little short or something like that. The first release, not the final release, but the first release of Gridiron Heroes by the OTDITB group.
There you go. So that's your
rolls off the tongue, doesn't it?
It does. We got to work on that.
No problem. So that's your announcement. We're doing a giveaway. Stop accusing my boy Josh over here. He's just having fun. We're all having fun. The last couple seasons are worth celebrating and worth having a good time after so many years of not being able to enjoy the NFL season.
And when I'm in the old folks' home, if I can tune in and say, "Who's that idiot?"
And
be
Josh's
referring to
mind
myself,
slips will need that.
I'll be like, "Hey, that guy looks like me."
Yeah, we'll need that. Once your mind starts slipping. So.
Exactly.
Montgomery running through the defensive wall. St. Brown catching every single call. Playoff bound.
We were all together. We got to watch the game with a handful of other people. I think we were all left in a good mood. But really quick, so I think I usually start with Josh, but Lyle, I forget who I asked last week, but Lyle, what was your takeaway from the game while you were watching on Monday night?
Yeah, so again, as everybody that watched the last episode knows, I did not pick the Lions here, and I really think that coming into the game, for me, it's one of those mental blocks about, I feel like, oh, this is a team that just has our number, right? I feel like it's more than just everybody thinking, okay, the Ravens were favored and they were going to win. To me, it's me looking at that and going, okay, we've played them 9 times and they've beat us 8 times. And, oh, we just don't match up well with a running quarterback. And, there's just too many things that are going against the Lions. They're still, getting some of those rookies introduced on the offensive line, and we're still trying to gel on the defensive side. And who do we even have rushing across this way from Aiden Hutchinson in this game? Well, the thing that I keep learning, and it's also awesome to keep learning, even on this side of 50, about the sport that I've been watching now for 40-some years and everything, is that it's, you always got to have a chance. You always got to give them. We started 0-0, and right away when you started watching that game, it became pretty evident that the Lions had come to play, and they played a very good first half there. It was an even game at the halftime, and then they come out in the second half, and even though the Ravens got the ball first and scored first in the second half, it was clearly that the Lions came out and took the momentum right back again and played an even better second half than they did a first half. So, just really love to see something like that happen, watch the team perform that way so that I can start to realize that, hey, there's nothing that's predetermined in this. You think that team's got your number or whatever, but from now on, I quote the Raven, nevermore as far as that goes.
Edgar Allan Poe reference.
There you go, a little Baltimore action, and they were leaning hard into that through that whole thing.
Yes, they were.
And it was pretty cool. I really liked it actually, but it was nice to have the Lions dampen some of the spirit on that for those Baltimore fans.
Yeah. Josh, what about you, man?
Everything that Lyle said, and obviously, watching the game, just trying to pick up on a couple things. The thing that has been throwing me for a couple weeks now is Demo's celebration, hands on the face, trying to figure out what that's in reference to. Today we find out, or was it yesterday, with the Amon-Ra?
That was this morning, I think.
Was it St. Brown's podcast? He kind of explained it, but he also explained it in the presser, I think, a little bit better. That duality in his head. He's the Joker. So, and I want to say it was the Joaquin Phoenix Joker, where he starts laughing and everybody starts out crying and then laughing. So he's got that little duality. And of course, he shows his Joker tat on his leg.
Yeah, the Heath Ledger Joker on that tat.
This is a little backwards, but hey, respect to both of them. They both did a good job. Of course, I haven't seen the Joker 2 yet, so I can't really say. But anyway, so that was just one of those little side notes that but Detroit more or less dominated that game in every aspect that I can think of, other than that one kickoff return. But hey, we had Jake's.
Yeah, the master himself stopped a touchdown.
Stopped a
which
touchdown.
Could have swung the momentum towards Baltimore.
A couple big plays in there. Just got the blood pumping, got the fist pumping. Everybody excited. Got a couple clips, which you'll see after the credits here. Yep. Jake, solemn in his chair, getting prepared for.
As soon as you took that seat, man,
everything changed.
It was over.
Hey, it's what we do. I did the same thing at the Texans game. But Josh, any last thoughts before I move on to my review?
Shout out to Tyler Brown. He's still, I think, if you rewatch that clip, I don't think
that's a terrible call.
That was a bad missed call. He got the fan, so I'm giving him credit for that one. It was close. It was close, but in rewatch, I swear that was not.
The intention was there. He picked the way it was starting to go wide.
Yeah.
Fortunately, they called it, but it's always tough when he goes above.
Yes.
Above the pole,
Well, hey, we got automatic field positioning now. We can fix that in the future. So
for sure.
Yeah. All right, yeah. So you guys made some really good points in your takeaways. I think ultimately. Offensive line played fantastic. If you heard that between a duel between Lamar Jackson and Jared Goff, one of those quarterbacks would get sacked 7 times and one quarterback would get sacked 0, I would have put every cent I have and every cent I didn't have that Jared Goff's getting sacked 7 times. Yeah. So I think that was incredibly optimistic. I stand by it. I don't think the Ravens defense, they played a couple, they played 2 very tough teams in Buffalo and Detroit and a pretty stout defense in Cleveland. But that offense in Cleveland isn't good. And they still let up 17 points, from Cleveland. Mm-hmm. But it's just, I refuse to believe the Ravens defense is that bad. I think it's just more of a testament to how good Buffalo is, how awesome the Lions offense is. That was huge. And then to see essentially the defense play. I mean, obviously they let up 30 points, right? There was a garbage time tutty where it kind of didn't matter as long as they were received the onside kick. Even then we were still up by 8. I think the Lions played about as good as they possibly could have, and it showed that way, right? Mm-hmm. Obviously we're all stressed about the game. We're always stressed. But then when you're watching the replays back, once that second half starts, really there's almost no reason to be concerned at all because offense was firing all cylinders. They couldn't stop the run effectively. Goff played efficiently. I was so happy, looking at those stats, looking at it. And, I think the best Lions games are the games where Goff doesn't have to do it all himself because we have so many great weapons. I saw a video on TikTok this morning, and I forget the guy. He always pops up on sports social media. But he was talking about, is Jared Goff ever going to get the respect that he deserves, right?
No, not until
stat-wise, efficiency-wise, he is a top 5, if not a top 3 quarterback statistic-wise. And, there's a lot of, he doesn't get a lot of love because he is not a sexy player. A lot of women think he's a great-looking player. I think he's pretty handsome. But,
those Old Spice commercials do it for you, huh?
Smells like driftwood. But it's one of those things where his play style isn't sexy, but he's efficient. He throws he gets rid of the ball at the right times. He finds the open receiver. He has great connections with St. Brown. He's the perfect quarterback for this team. He plays a great role. I don't think I was upset about anything Terry Arnold let up a couple big plays, but also his I think that one pass interference, that was a little chopped because I think I saw a take earlier today that I think DeAndre Hopkins, just being the pretty darn good vet he is, I think just abused
that was
in
in the first half. It happened, and there was another play, and he got the touchdown scored on him. But second half, you didn't really hear anything about Terry Arnold.
Yeah, neither good or bad. But once again,
that's the thing you usually want to be, though.
And I don't remember who was lined up on Zay Flowers. I don't know if they had a Meek or DJ manning him up, or if it was just they playing on sides of the ball. But Zay Flowers had 2 catches?
Non-existent.
He's been their entire pass offense leading into this game. So, just defense played outstanding. Pass rush was incredibly outstanding.
We definitely did not like Rashad Bateman after this game.
No, I don't like Rashad Bateman. I have not liked him for many years. Nothing against him. I bet he's a fine guy, but whether it's fantasy or putting money on him, he never turns out the way I want him to. And then, of course, when I don't do anything with him, he decides to have a pretty great game. But yeah, so no, I think this was a fantastic game. I think this is a win that we needed. And, something I've said, I don't know if I ever said it on camera, but I know I've said it behind, off the camera. I think that ultimately, that loss to Green Bay is a good thing. The Baltimore game to me was about as guaranteed of a loss preseason on the schedule that you could have had. It was just a team that matches up the best possible way against us. But getting smacked in the mouth we did in Green Bay, bouncing back, improving. Our offense is still the shit. Against Chicago, I think that was the thing that keeps them humbled, but knows hey, we're still worth our salt, right? We were the 1 seed last year. We won 15 games with guys off the street playing defense. Look what happens when we get a defense. And that Green Bay game is now starting to 3 weeks into the season, going into 4, looking like a glorified preseason game.
Yeah, we had both ends of the spectrum, like we talked about, and this is actually almost something I suggested for the key word of the week is statement game.
Yeah,
it was a game that you didn't know. Yeah, were they the Bears versus Lions or Lions versus
was it
Bears?
A bad Bears team against a talented Lions team that should be able to do that?
Or is Green Bay that good? And then we find out that Green Bay loses to
Cleveland,
and then you have 2. Everybody's calling them offensive juggernauts.
Yeah,
really, and that garbage time TD didn't really make a difference in the game.
Baltimore is still, after this week, the highest scoring team in the NFL.
113.
113, and then there's a team at 104, and then the Lions are tied with Buffalo for 103 points scored so far. Yeah. I forget about I think it might be the Chargers. I don't know. No, it's the Colts. Colts is
there you go. Yeah,
Colts are
the never punt Colts.
Yeah, Indiana Jones. And
they
Colts,
They did punt once.
They did.
Yeah. Crazy. It took them 3 games for the Colts to do that with Daniel Jones. Danny Diamonds is Rich Eisen.
Good for them.
I know. I'm kind of
keep rolling.
I love seeing honestly, small tangent. I love seeing quarterbacks thrown to the side come back and have a resurgence.
Yeah.
It sucked. It was for the Minnesota Vikings. I thought it was cool to see Sam Darnold, former 3rd overall pick, thrown away by the Jets and thrown away by other teams, come back and have a career year. And he's doing pretty good for the Seahawks. Yeah. I kind of want to root for him, honestly. We don't play the Seahawks this year. I kind of want to root for him because I'm like, it's cool seeing a guy come back. I was a big Geno Smith fan back in the day when he was at West Virginia. I loved seeing him kind of resurgent for the Seahawks, I don't think he's quite there for the Raiders right now, but,
how about, maybe my favorite non-Jared Goff quarterback right now, Baker Mayfield.
Oh, dude, I'm such a Baker fan. I hate that we have to play them because I love seeing him do it, man. He's such a gamer. He's so cool.
So
really good.
Kelvin and I went to a non-Lions game, Browns versus, I want to say it was against Cincinnati. Yeah, had to have been, but it was at Brown Stadium. And just hearing their fans just rip on him.
Yeah.
I was just like, I don't think he's that bad. But, maybe it's, that whole thing, an outside perspective, kind of looking in. Right. Everybody's favorite quarterback in Detroit's always the backup quarterback until these last few years. Well, I don't know. Everybody loves Stafford. Everybody loves Goff. But just to hear them trash on Baker.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that I don't think can be proven about Baker's time in Cleveland. I don't feel comfortable speaking on it because I can't. It's just me sharing potentially misinformation or just conspiracy. But essentially, Brown's organization wasn't a fan of him. There's a lot of claims that the coaching staff kind of had it out for him, and then they decide to abandon him and go get a quarterback. They sell their whole farm to go get a quarterback that was under certain allegations.
Careful what you wish for.
Yeah. So.
Well, and everybody talks about the Lions, how many quarterbacks they've had, how many the Vikings have had, how many the Bears have had versus how much Green Bay's had. And I want to say the Browns has got a much longer list.
Well, yeah. If you ever seen one of those jerseys,
Well, you ruined my joke. I was gonna say there's the 3 most famous NFL
Lyle.
jerseys of all time. You got the Kelly Green Eagles, got the Creamsicle Buccaneers jerseys, and you got the jersey that has 18 or 30 different starting quarterbacks since 2005.
Right.
The Browns jersey.
Right. Yeah, that old Tim Couch jersey, and it just keeps going.
Information circulation, Brad's perpetual hesitation. It's breaking now, or was it breaking then?
It's Breaking Brad again.
Yeah, so on the phone with Breaking Brad. So, Brad, really quick, how you feeling after this Monday night's victory, brother?
Oh, man, that was I have to say that was one of the best, and there's been a lot of them, right? But that's one of the best Dan Campbell wins ever.
Oh, for sure.
It's the top 5, I think.
Yeah, so there may be some overlap in a lot of what we're saying because, we all watch every second of the game. I wouldn't be surprised if you rewatched the game, Brad. But what was your big takeaway?
I did.
What was your big takeaway from the game this past Monday?
Well, there's a few of them. One of them is the offensive line. I saw a stat somewhere that Tate Ratledge was, and I don't hold a lot of stock in PFF because I've seen a guy get 3 interceptions and get a really bad rating, Yeah. But anyway, they did have Ratledge, I think, is the second best guard in week 3. So that tells you something. And then, of course, you guys had the stat where, Sewell broke the record for the best, I think, run blocking and overall blocking, not pass blocking, though.
Yeah, it was definitely the best run blocking grade ever.
So that was a huge one. And then the second one is what I told you guys last week. So you guys can call me Breaking Bad for a real reason, because I told you Muhammad is for real. He's a starting end, and we got somebody. I feel very good right now. If him and Hutch stayed healthy, that's a pretty good combo. I mean, I loved what I saw from
absolutely
from those two guys.
Brad, I'm going to ask you to watch the videotape because not moments prior to you bringing that up, I do recall, and when we review Cousin Lyle's Casino, I said we'd only have 2 sacks. We had 7. And I said Al-Qadim would have 1.
Yep.
And he had 3. Or 2?
2.5.
2.5.
2.5.
Okay. 2.5. So.
Yeah, but Lyle.
And then you called in later, so still Breaking Brad.
Yeah, and I
Calling
think,
earlier next
I
time.
think since Brad's not on social media, I believe it was you, Lyle, found a pretty funny tweet about Al-Qadim Mohammed.
Oh, did I?
The Brad Holmes one. Do you want to share that with Brad? I'll share it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so Lyle.
From Brad to Brad, here we go.
Yeah, so Brad, Lyle found this social media post. He can't remember.
Yeah.
Yep. So, it was somebody tweeting out. I think Lions fans aren't talking. Isn't it about time we hold Brad Holmes accountable for signing a defensive end to play opposite of Al-Qadim Mohammed?
This was before the Hutch fumble.
The game.
Yeah, this was before the Hutch forced fumble. But I did
Yeah.
show that one around. Yeah.
And I heard some speculation. Maybe his new nickname is Aquaman.
Yes, AQM, Aquaman.
Aquaman.
I like that. I don't mind that. That's pretty good.
Not the Aquaman from the
Swimming
70s Super Friends, but more the Jason Momoa beefed out, type.
Swimming through offensive linemen.
I talk to fish.
Yeah, seriously though, when they gave him the game ball and he was talking, I'm looking at AQM's arms, man.
Huge.
He's jacked.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember him being that big, but I guess when you're, seeing him from far away and you're seeing him how fast NFL players move, you don't realize how freaking jacked he is, man.
Yeah, last season he really started to shine towards the end of the season, and so when obviously Zadarius Smith was a huge name, and when they brought him in, everybody's excited. No nothing against that whatsoever. But Muhammad was in the wings, ready to go.
Yeah.
So
he's 3.5 on him, 3.5, maybe 4 now on the season. I think.
Nice,
pretty good. So off to a good start.
Absolutely. Anything else, Brad?
Well, one thing I was curious about is your guys' take on, Lamar Jackson and King Henry. I mean, these guys,
they're special.
They're actually it's not Montgomery and Gibbs. Henry and Jackson are the best combo running players in the league. I would say. Well, they got a step ahead of our running backs, and they held them so well. And what I saw online, and you guys tell me if you saw this, because Dan Campbell's always said that the spy doesn't work, so he doesn't do the spy. Well, and he kind of did a reverse here.
Yeah, he revised that a little bit.
Well, sure. Shep probably told him, like, come on, this is what we're gonna do.
The guy who played
what they were doing is running.
Yeah.
It looked like what they were doing. They were running 2 spies.
Yeah.
They were running a linebacker as a spy and a safety as a spy. And basically the linebacker had the okay to say, hey, if I got a chance to get him, I'm going to go get him and release from the spy. And Barnes was able to do that a time or two. And anyway, and then you might have like Branch as your second spy, but he has to be super disciplined to make sure he doesn't break free anywhere, and he's your last resort. But he's also watching the pass too, so it's like they were kind of, that's how I kind of heard what was happening. But what did you guys see? Did you guys notice anything like that?
Yeah, so no, they definitely incorporated it into the game plan. I mean, Lamar in the post game did talk about. He looked confused out there by the defense quite a bit. And we've said so many times in so many different episodes about the Lions having trouble, and historically, at least in the past decade, I don't think I've ever seen them contain a running quarterback the way they did Lamar. And in my opinion, Lamar is the best running quarterback probably since Michael Vick, in my opinion. No, they were spying 1 to 2, 3 guys. I don't have their blitz rate numbers off the top of my head, but I know that they did not blitz often. So that was something I think that we were all concerned about, an interior pass rush, but they really only rushed 3-4 guys at the most. I think they sent Brian Branch on one. I think they sent Amik on one. I know Anzalone blitzed once or twice. Anzalone did get a half sack or a sack. So,
and I figured the reason why they did that though is because if you're blitzing 5 or 6, he's going to throw it, or he's going to get around you and get a big run and you got no one behind you. And so you're never going to get to him that way. So they're basically saying, we're going to cover like crazy. We're going to have, 8 guys out there covering with 2 of them being spies, right? Yep. And you really only have how many one-on-one matchups if that's happening? Maybe 1.
Yeah. And,
yeah.
No, and Zay Flowers.
And again, then the spies come in and try to sack them, or they're reading eyes for a pick, which Branch almost did.
Should have had it.
Yeah, and I think that a big thing was, in terms of the performance of the defense. Again, one of the biggest stats they talked about was they were not missing tackles. There was 4 missed tackles in the entire game.
I think Baltimore missed 20, if not more than that.
So
no, I think it was. Yeah, it was. I heard. I thought I heard 30.
Yeah, it was like 2 missed tackles by the Lions to Baltimore's like 30.
Yeah.
So
it's crazy.
So that's high level. That's high level defense. And you know, even just thinking about the game, thinking about Lamar Jackson coming up and breaking down in front of Trevor Nowaski, and Nowaski just stood him up right there. And then Barnes, with a couple of shoestring tackles on him and really getting aggressive.
Jack Campbell.
What a man.
That 4th down stop where he forced a fumble out of that was one of the absolute best goal line, single play performances I've ever seen from any player. Because not only did he shut down the pass, but he was in a way where he didn't overcommit to where he could reach out and grab Jackson. And Jack's one of the single best athletes on the team. And as fast as Lamar is, if Jack grabs you, I don't think Lamar would break from that. So the fact that he shut down the pass, he cut down the run, that was beautiful. That was maybe one of my single absolute favorite plays, was just seeing Jack Campbell on that.
Yeah. And forcing a fumble and
and
blowing up the play.
Then on top of pretty much my little part in this whole thing is the pop culture reference. I ain't got time to bleed type moment.
Yeah.
You saw where, he's out there directing traffic on the defense, and they're seeing blood squirting out his nose, from the cut that he had, and they're going, let's go. That's the kind of guy we need,
Oh, and I'll tell you one other thing about that play, Jake. If you remember, the Lions were scrambling. Because Ravens had hurried up offense, and you figure they were going to run it, whatever. But, man, they were scrambling on that play. They didn't know where to go. And all of a sudden, when they snapped it, kind of everybody went the right way.
Yeah.
and you had now 3 or 4 guys right in front of Jackson. And again, Campbell was probably in that spot where he's spying him, and he's got the right to go after him, knowing that there's another guy behind him if he misses.
Yeah, of course. So,
all right, we're getting the hand signals from our producer here. We're ready to move on to the next segment.
Right. Hey,
Brad, since we have you on the line.
So,
introducing the new theme song written by
Midlife Crisis LLC.
Yeah. Midlife Crisis LLC Publishing.
Yeah.
Welcome everybody to Cousin Lyle's Casino. Yeah, play the applause button.
Oops, sorry.
We don't have the sound effect yet. Oop. Yeah. Alrighty. So as we're entering on the floor of the casino, smoke's in the air. Overpriced drinks are being delivered to the table. Cousin Lyle, take it away. Let's review last week's to start.
Yeah, let's do that. So just real quickly here, week 3, first question that was on the board here, Jared Goff passer rating over or under 100 in this game. Jacob and Josh, you guys went under. You were looking for, I think, right in that 98, 99 range.
Yeah,
I said it would be really close.
I felt good on high 90s.
Cousin Lyle over here sitting in the owner's box took over, and he was over. It was 103.6 was the passer rating on that. Again, a very efficient night, just the 1 touchdown, but no picks, and keeping them on schedule, dropping dimes into baskets on 4th and 2. Beautiful performance by Jared Goff. If you asked who had the more impressive game, you look at the statistics, and you would anybody that watched or didn't watch the game would think, okay, Lamar Jackson, I mean, he's got 288 and 3 touchdowns. Jared Goff was a better quarterback in that game.
Yeah, I think Lamar had the higher rating technically. I think it was like 130 something. It was a pretty high rating because he had a pretty good night throwing the ball, but that extra loss in their loss column would
well, and different. One thing that probably QBR doesn't account for is the fact that they had to respect our running game too.
Yeah.
So, which I think they were thinking we weren't going to be able to run on them, and Demo showed them different.
Yeah. All right. Second question. Biggest blowout. We had no idea here. Okay. Again, the question here: how many times did the Lions sack Lamar Jackson? And I had placed the over/under at 1.5, and 2 of the 3 on this panel still took the under. Okay. Jacob and I had the under on this one. Josh, you were the one that saw the light here.
I think I said 2, but I was shocked by 7, happy by 7.
Yeah, 7 sacks in that game. Something else. Absolutely something else. All right, number 3 here.
No, it's just
shut out. This is where we all got shut out, boys. More receptions in this game. It was receptions. I was thinking it was yardage, but it was receptions.
He had a hell of a game.
Either way, though, it was Sam Laporta or Mark Andrews, and it was Mark Andrews who ended up with 6 receptions on the game, and he really did have a heck of a game. Sam had 4 receptions. He was a big part of the game still. But Mark Andrews was the vote on that one, and we had all taken Sammy Laporta in that one.
Throw that stash out a little bit better next time, bud.
That's right. It's getting there. And then finally, the last question here, Grant Stewart over, under, or even on his return yards per kickoff. Well, they did switch it up here. They had Vaki and Sailors as the backmen for the kickoffs. Vaki ended up getting injured. He's still got that groin issue that I think is going to just linger for a while here. But when they replaced him, they did not replace him with Grant Stewart in the beautiful mane of hair. They ended up, I think, putting Khalif Raymond back there for the time that did happen. So Grant Stewart did not return a kick, so unfortunately, question number 4 is a void question there. So overall here, we didn't the house wins. Lyle, I had one question right. Josh had one question right. Jake, you had all three of them wrong. So so the house wins for last week.
So one of the wins, but you can't beat the house, right?
That's how you build those big, beautiful buildings out there, man.
Right.
And then the house always wins. So we're going to go ahead and add a line 4 here for this week. Brad, are you game?
Sure.
All right. He says with confidence. All right. Put your chips on the table here. So question number 1 going into week 4. I got to did not erase that there. Week 4 against the Cleveland Browns. Question number 1 is about our man Vanilla Vic, a.k.a. Jared Goff.
Jared go off, you know what I mean?
Jared Goff, over or under 2.5 rush yards in this Cleveland game. Now, and thinking about this, now week 3 showed that he had 4 carries for 6 yards. Early in the game, he had a scramble for 5 of those 6 yards. Okay, so that accounts for 5 of the 6. He also had a sneak for a first down. And then there was a play there in the middle of the game when it was still kind of in the balance where Goff declined to try to pick up another first down with his legs in favor of an attempted cross-body throw that did not go so well. But he did end up with 6 yards on the game. For his career, 137 games played, 562 yards in those 137 games, which is an average of 2.0 yards per game. So he averages 2 yards a game. Vanilla Vic over under 2.5 rush yards in this game. Jacob, what do you think?
I don't want to go too in detail just because we still have to talk about the upcoming game against Cleveland. I'm going to say over. Cleveland, despite being a pretty poor team, has a pretty solid defense, and we saw that this week against Green Bay, this past week against Green Bay, which we'll talk about shortly. Also did some pretty good work against Derrick Henry the previous week. So I'm going to say over.
All right, Jacob's on the over. Josh, do you agree?
I agree on the over, and it's going to be in some of the matchup we got coming here. Did some stat breakdown, so I think it's going to be over.
All right, a little bit of a preview of the StatCast coming over from Josh. Brad, do you agree with these boys, or are you going to go a different route?
You're talking about 2 yards, right?
It's got to be 3 or more. You got to be 3 or more yards.
Yeah, I'm going under.
All right.
Just to clarify, that's not 3 yards in the air on the leap.
Yeah, 3 yards. That's 3 yards rushing, right?
Yeah. Okay, just making sure you knew.
Yeah, 3 yards rushing. If Goff's going to get 3 yards rushing,
right? Is he going to get 3 or more yards rushing?
Yeah, he ain't doing quarterback sneak on Garrett. So
I think Garrett plays on the outside.
I
know, but on that whole defensive line, I just don't think that's going to be their strategy.
All right, so Brad's going to go under. I'm going to join the boys, and I'm going to go over here as well. I think that the one thing that I've really been impressed with so far this year is Goff's mobility, mostly in the pocket. I mean, he's going to want to remain in the pocket. He's scrambling to try to keep plays alive and to try to throw. But I do think there's going to be an opportunity here where he's going to see a little bit of green grass. He's going to take it, and he's going to be able to get over 2.5 rush yards in the game. So we got 3 out of 4 overs here. We're going to go on to question 2. Will Sonic and Knuckles both score a touchdown in this game? So, again, last game, the duo of Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery scored a touchdown, actually scored 2 touchdowns each in those games. And by doing so, they set an NFL record by being the first running back duo to score a touchdown in the same game 11 times. And the guys that they were tied with before they did that, 4 of them, all of them are Hall of Famers. So pretty cool stat there. They've already done it twice in 3 games this year where they've each scored a touchdown in the game. And the Browns, if you're wondering about their defense, they have only allowed 1 rushing touchdown so far in 3 games this year. They did allow 22 rushing touchdowns in all of 2024, so 17 games there. So just a little bit more than 1 a game. So the question going to Josh this time, will Sonic and Knuckles both score a touchdown in this upcoming game?
But it has to be receiving, correct?
It's rushing or receiving.
Oh, rushing or receiving.
Yep.
Yes, I'm going to say absolutely.
Any further analysis on that? Or
No, because originally I thought, and there's the flub in the line, ding. Originally thought it was going to be just rushing. So what I was thinking is they were going to, do a little flat pass.
They don't break apart when they say a touchdown. It's just a touchdown. The only thing that gets broken apart is passing touchdowns. When they say like, "Oh, scored a touchdown," they usually don't consider like passing a touchdown. It's its own separate thing.
Yeah.
So
yeah. So Josh, you're saying yes. Brad, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say no to that one just because, I mean, that's anytime they're close to the goal line, Montgomery or Gibbs, they can both catch it. I'm going with yes.
All right, that's 2 on the yay side. Jacob, what do you think?
Clarifying its rushing or receiving wants me to say yes. I'm going to say no, only because with how the Lions' rushing attack looked against Baltimore, as well as how stout Cleveland was against Josh Jacobs and especially against Derrick Henry in week 2. I'm going to say no. I do think Gibbs gets something. If not, maybe Gibbs even gets 2 touchdowns, but I'm just going to go with no, be a little dissenting here.
All right, fair enoff. I'm actually gonna go no as well, though. I'm gonna play a little bit of the percentages
50-50.
odds. Yeah, I'm gonna play the percentages odds. They've done it 2 out of 3 this year. To go 3 out of 4, that'd be something else. And I'm not saying they can't do it, because right now, like we said, the offensive line seems to be playing really well, especially getting some of that push in the middle of the game of the interior, and they have been switching more between Gibbs and Montgomery, and you don't know, and I think that's some great play calling. When you put Gibbs in there, it doesn't automatically mean that they're going to run outside. He's definitely been taking it up inside as well. So, but just playing the percentages here, I'm also going to go no. So we got 50-50 on that one. Josh and Brad think that we are going to see the combo. Jacob and Lyle right now saying no. All right, number 3 here. This is pick a number. So you're going to have to hit this one on the nose to get it right next week.
I thought you were going to say in the nuts, and I'm like, what are you talking about?
Or pick your nose.
You can pick your friend, but you can't. Jack Campbell tackles in this game. All right. So Captain Jack right now has been a tackling machine so far this year. In the game so far, he had 10 tackles against the Pack. He had 8 against Chicago, and he also had 8 against Baltimore. Now, the crazy thing about the Baltimore 8, all 8 of those tackles were solo tackles. Prior games, he had 50-50 as far as solo tackles and assisted tackles. But in against Baltimore, all 8 of those tackles were all by his lonesome there. Heck of a game by Jack Campbell. So we're going to go over to Brad for this one. Brad, you got to pick a number. How many tackles does Jack Campbell end up with at the end of the Cleveland game?
I'm going to go with 8. Is there a chance? I mean, if they're up, maybe he sits a little bit and rests his face, But, yeah, 8.
All right, 8's a good number so far this year. Jacob, what are you thinking for a number?
I'm expecting some excellent defensive line play against a pretty poor offensive line and a very immobile Joe Flacco. So I'm going to go with 5. I'm expecting actually Brian Branch to be our leading tackler. I have a good feeling on that, but I just have a feeling. But yeah, no, I'm expecting some really good defensive line play, which, I brought up before. The old times, or was it glory days? But, a defensive line's job is to clog up holes and disrupt the flow of stuff to allow the linebackers to make the plays. And obviously, if they make a play in the process, awesome. I do expect what I would deem a significantly superior defensive line against a pretty poor offensive line. I don't expect Jack to have to need to make that play, so 5.
Awesome. All right, Josh, what's your number this week?
I'm going to somewhat split the difference and go with 6.5.
6.5.
Oh, I like that. Get a couple of
assisted tackle in there. All right.
He does fly to the ball.
Yeah, that's actually really close to the number that I was thinking here. I have 7 for my number in this here. So we're all, pretty bunched together there. As long as it's going to be somewhere in that range, I think somebody's going to hit on that one. So we'll see what happens. Finally, number 4, speaking of tacklers, Jake Bates. No, it's not about his tackling. Over or under 1.5 made field goals in this game. Now, so far this season, Jake has attempted 2 field goals in each of the first 3 games. He did miss one in the Chicago game from 54 yards. And, of course, he missed that 67-yarder right before the end of the half at Baltimore just to give it a try. Fun fact about Jake Bates, Dan Campbell said in an interview this week that Bates has never done a tackling drill in practice. Yeah. So that tackle that he made, that's all Michigan Panthers tackle. Yeah. I think it was the 3 P's for him, which is the preparation, the positioning, and then the praying that happened. But it all worked out. So I've got Jake Bates over or under 1.5 made field goals in this game. We're going to go back to Jacob. What do you think?
I'm going to say under. Lions have a pretty strong special teams unit, and they're an NFL team. The Browns have talent on there. It is there. Stefanski coaches a good defense, but I have a lot of faith in our special teams. I think, once again, Baltimore, one of the only few rosters you can argue is more talented than the Lions, although I don't know if we can say that after this Monday night game. So I'm going to say under. I don't think Jake Bates needs to make those plays.
All right. Under for Jacob. Josh, what do you got?
I'm going to agree with under, but only because, I don't think we're going to kick that many.
Okay. Brad, are you going with them boys, or are you going your own way?
Can we clarify the question? Is it how many field goals he's going to make?
That's right.
And the mark is 1.5. So all he needs is 2.
Correct.
Yeah. He's gonna need 2 this game for sure, because first of all, I think they could be stopping him a little bit more with that defense, which means you got to kick field goals, and the Browns ain't gonna score much. So you'll need those points. Plus, if they get a little closer, I mean, he's kicked more than 2 or more each game, right?
He's attempted to. He's attempted to.
Yeah.
So far.
And he's been usually money on those. He's kicked some long ones. So I would say, law of averages says he's going to get some shorter ones this time and get 2. Sure.
All right.
Yeah. So Lyle, I'm hijacking the session. I'm hijacking this really quick.
I think that's illegal in this state.
That's fine. This is America, right?
Like D.B. Cooper.
But yeah. Yeah, no jumping out of a plane for me. But so it's funny. This is if you want to come up with a graphic for it, your dunking on Jake graphic. I was really zeroed in on kickoffs. We said field goals many times. I was also going to say over because I do expect us to kick a couple of field goals. So we can keep it under for jokes, but that's your hopefully only time we're dunking on Jake this game for just mind wandering.
All right, for those folks out there, yeah. Jacob has changed his vote here. He was at under. He's going over now, so he's saying that Jake is going to kick.
They may pick up on that when I start talking about him making those plays. It sounded like Brad was like, "What the hell is Jake on right now? Like, what's he talking about?" So thanks.
I just can't wait to get this green screen of you dunking on.
Yeah, just somebody posterizing me. So I'm sure there's stock footage out there you could use.
No, we're doing it tonight.
Yeah.
That's why we got the green screen.
So we've got Jacob at over, Brad at over, Josh at under. I'm actually going to go over as well. I do have a feeling that Jake Bates is going to get a chance to kick a few in this one. I'm actually thinking a 3 sounds pretty good. I think 9 points coming from that. Plus, of course, all the extra points that he's going to be kicking when the Lions continue this offensive onslaught that they've started this year. Mm-hmm. I'm going to go with over. So, Josh, you're on the island out there. Let's see what happens next week.
I'm playing with house money right now. So
You are. And that is Cousin Lyle's Casino for Week 4.
Playoff bound now, divisional crown. Been covering this team all around the town.
All right, so as we've been doing every week this season, we're going to, obviously you can go to ESPN, you can go to NFL Network, you can look online, you can watch any other podcast to see each of these storylines and the breakdowns. So as normal, we're going to each present a matchup we'd like to see, whether it's player on player, position versus position, coach v. coach, fan base versus fan base, mascot versus mascot. Why not? I don't know if the Browns actually have a mascot.
They got
that's fine.
that weird elf thing, right?
Yeah,
the elf.
Yeah.
Or the
looks like a Keeler
dog pound.
The dog pound, yeah.
I don't hate that one, actually. I kind of like that. But yeah, so we're going to actually start with Brad. So Brad, if you want to give me one, maybe even 2 matchups that you're interested in, just be mindful you may be stealing somebody else's matchup. Just keep that in mind.
And we have to scramble.
Well, I'll just go with one then, and that would be the Eagles and Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
That has nothing to do with this game.
Sorry,
It's
Brad.
a matchup for this
Sorry,
game.
Brad. We're talking about the upcoming 1:00 game this upcoming Sunday, Lions versus Browns.
Matchups in the Lions game.
Correct.
Yes, so like
Correct.
offense,
I
defense,
thought you meant
quarterback, Myles Garrett.
Well, hey, I'll tell you what. Maybe I'll let you guys talk about that because I don't really have anything to add to that. But there's two huge games this weekend.
Well, that's the matchup to watch for Brad. We'll let it slide.
We'll let it slide.
Go
Be
ahead,
prepared
Brad.
next time, damn it.
Well, I didn't. You really should have. This is the man. Anyway, the big ones are you got either the Ravens or the Chiefs are going to be 1-3.
Mm-hmm. Crazy
because that is nuts. And then Tampa Bay and the Eagles. That's in Tampa Bay, and Tampa Bay has beat them the last 3 times, I think. Yeah. So. I'm kind of rooting for Tampa Bay to get the Eagles a loss, but Tampa Bay is damn good, and I don't think their schedule's that tough either. So, but you figure they're going to probably lose a couple. But
yeah, they got to play.
But
the
those
Lions
are some big games.
Weeks.
That's right.
And just what if Sunday Night Football, the Dallas Cowboys top the Packers? Wouldn't that be nice?
Wow. Hey, it's in Jerry's world. You know, Jerry likes to let that money.
Let's kick them while they're down. Which, hey,
That's what I'm saying.
I'll be rooting for them, and I don't say that about the Cowboys often.
Yeah,
me either.
Let's see some of that Jerry Jones money fly into the pockets of whoever is officiating.
Yeah. Brad Allen on the call.
Yeah, get Brad Allen in Dallas on Sunday night. Come on. Do it. Sign
and then Minnesota is
playing Jordan Love for playing quarterback.
Yeah. Ooh, a third matchup, Brad? A third matchup, I hear?
Well, Minnesota, you always look at the North, and Minnesota's playing Pittsburgh, so that could be a loss. I can't remember where that's at, though. I want to say it's Pittsburgh.
Don't make me root for Aaron Rodgers.
I don't know.
But I'm going to be.
Pittsburgh's not good. They're not good.
The Bears, I can't remember who they play, but I think it's a winnable game for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I honestly don't know.
Oh yeah, they're Super Bowl contenders now after beating
Dallas.
Dallas, yeah.
Yep.
Did you watch Ben Johnson's post-game speech
I
in
saw
the locker room?
2 minutes of it. He's a poor man's Dan King.
They play. It's I think in the Bears' favor, but it is in Las Vegas at the Raiders. Okay. That's a losable game.
Funny Brad Johnson story though. Calvin has been hitting the eBay for like old Lions, like sideline gear worn by players, worn by coaches. Mm-hmm. Today he received a jacket with Ben Johnson as in the name tag.
Wow, interesting.
So we
did say Brad Johnson, so add another.
I'm sorry, Ben Johnson. Jeez,
yep. I know Breaking Brad's on the phone.
I completely.
There are two different guys.
Ben, you're not part of the team anymore.
Former Super Bowl quarterback Brad
One didn't
Johnson
abandon us
for the Tampa Bay
for the freaking Chicago Bears.
That's right. Yeah.
So. Well, hey, I'll let you fellas go.
All right, man.
All right, thanks for calling in, Brad.
Go Chiefs.
Right, later.
Go Chiefs.
Yeah.
All right. All right, so we heard from Brad. Josh, got Cleveland on Sunday. What's your matchup to watch?
Really going to just say Jared Goff versus their D line. Is he going to get that ball out in time? Last game, I thought he was going to heavily utilize the tight ends. I was wrong. Our running game did it. So, I think that will be the big one. Keep that confidence and get that ball distributed around to all the wide receivers, and that'll be it.
Yeah. Lyle, your matchup.
So I think that maybe people were a little bit surprised with how Cleveland was able to kind of keep Green Bay down last week.
Yeah, they kept Derrick Henry to I think it was like 23 yards or something.
Josh Jacobs.
Well, no, I'm talking about
Derrick Henry before that. Yep,
they contained Josh Jacobs, a really good running back in this league too. Yeah,
but in particular, I think as well the wide receivers I don't think had much of a game there either. So I'm going to be interested to see this Cleveland secondary going up against the Amon-Ra, St. Brown, and Jamison Williams. Now, again in the Baltimore game, J-Mo started off got to start going really good there, and then the Sun God took over and really had a great game. I'm going to be interested to see. There's some good safeties in Cleveland. They've got the cornerbacks. Denzel Ward, we know, is from an Ohio State guy, so he's right there. It'd be interesting to see if he's going to match up against J-Mo, or if he's going to try to match up against Amon-Ra and try to shut him down, kind of a thing. I really want to see, okay, they've been able to hold down a few good offenses so far that we've seen this year a little bit. They did allow 41, I think it was, to Baltimore, but there was kind of late in the game. I think they were in that game for quite a bit. I want to see, all right, here's the next challenge here. Here's our wide receivers going up against that secondary here. What can we show that that we can't be stopped in any way? It's just not going to be something that you can scheme against, and we're going to have wide receivers that are going to still be able to make those explosive plays in this game.
Yeah, man, this sucks. I wanted to break away and pick something with the Lions defense against the Browns offense. I'm just such a not believer in the Browns offense, and I just think the Lions defense is going to be that much more aggressive. I think they're going to be riding high after the Baltimore win. I'm not going to look at stats. The rules don't apply to me because I can't read, Josh.
I'm a numbers guy, so
yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
nerd.
Yep.
But so yeah, I'm gonna pick kind of a I'm gonna pick a kind of a toss up, slow pitch, little thing right there. I'm gonna say Taylor Decker against Myles Garrett.
Mm-hmm.
Myles Garrett to me is
that's what everyone is going to be worried about.
Myles Garrett is my favorite not Detroit Lion player in the NFL. I love Myles Garrett. He's a monster. He is scary when he's mad, but he is a physical specimen among physical specimen, right? And he is so good. He is so good. He is on such a bad team. And I do think Taylor Decker had some really awesome seal outs this past game. I was really impressed with how Decker played overall. Obviously, once again, the offensive line gave up no sacks. But I do think that's going to be a big matchup because Penei Sewell, to me, I would trust him with my life, Decker's starting to get on the backside of his career. I don't know how many more years we're going to have him. I saw a take that the Lions should, who was it sign? I forget if it was Trey Hendrickson or somebody. But essentially saying they should try and trade for a pretty good player and cut Decker in the 2026 offseason or going into the 2026 NFL season to save $18 million. So, which would be kind of crazy, but that was just a take I saw. But, Decker is going to be lined up against Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett is a stud. I would still rank Myles Garrett as a top 10 NFL player in the league.
Absolutely.
He is a monster. He is somebody who I personally think is better than Micah Parsons, and we saw what Micah Parsons did in his very few snaps, and we've seen what he's been able to do in some of these other games. So, audio, I'm cutting in and out a little bit. But yeah, so I'm going to say that's a huge matchup that I think, once again, if you can contain Myles Garrett, the rest of the talent on this offense, I think one of the biggest things about the Lions versus the Packers on offense, obviously the Packers got the game against the Lions, but I would take almost every single Lions receiver. If you pair them up with on the depth chart to the Packers, I don't know if the Lions lose. Right? There is an argument maybe that wide receiver 3, but once again, the Packers have a team of wide receiver 2s and 3s. So, and some of them are pretty good wide receiver 2s and 3s, but none of them are a Amon-Ra St. Brown. None of them are a Justin Jefferson. None of them are, Isaiah Flowers, right? To be, because Isaiah Flowers, to me, isn't in that upper echelon, but he's a pretty damn good receiver, although we didn't see it on Monday night. I think if you can contain Myles Garrett and he is the catalyst that causes that defense to play well, I think the Lions could have a really fun day. But yeah, that is our matchups for the week. So we have offensive line, Jared Goff versus the defensive line. We have wide receivers versus defensive backs, and we got specifically Taylor Decker against Myles Garrett.
And the Eagles versus
Eagles versus the Bucks. We got
just a game to watch.
Yeah.
We have Chicago against Las Vegas. We got Minnesota versus who's Minnesota playing? I already forgot.
He did say, but I already forgot as well.
And then we got the Chiefs and Ravens, which once again I think that Chiefs-Ravens game. The fact you were to tell me,
isn't Minnesota? They're the ones they're in Dublin this week, right? Against the Steelers. That's what it was.
That's right.
Yeah.
Steelers. Yep. Oh yeah, because Josh was like, "Don't make me root for Aaron Rodgers." I still can't do it. But yeah.
Jake's boys still
fills my head. Said this guy's the governor, now take it.
All right, so down to maybe at least one of my favorite segments. We got my Jake's lock of the game.
He's got a little bit more cockiness this week.
A little bit. I wonder why.
What happened?
So, first 2 weeks, we had St. Brown touchdown in Green Bay. We had Isaac Tesla touchdown at home against Chicago.
Close, but not quite.
Pretty close. However, I had a specific lock of the game. Lyle, what was my lock of the game?
I believe you were calling for the TJ special in this one here, but it was the David Montgomery Demo anytime touchdown, and I'd have to say that you more than covered that one. 2 tutties. That was a lock. Book it, baby. Let's go. David Montgomery, 2
yards,
touchdowns.
right?
Loved it. Yeah, over 150 yards on 12 rushes, 2 tutties.
And one of them was 75 yards.
Yeah, I mean, most of the yards came, over half the yards came from that. But, you can, if you want to see some funny commentary on that run, watch the St. Brown Brothers podcast. He had some pretty good takes on that, but he was gassed. But, yeah, so.
He got hooked from the back.
He was looking up at that screen going, catch me. Catch me.
Yeah, so my lock of the game this week, and I know on ESPN Bet you cannot bet this, at least as of right now. I know on FanDuel you usually can bet this and other sports books. My lock of the game, I'm going to shift it up a little bit. Touchdowns are, obviously I'm 1-3 in touchdowns, so I would like to get, or 1-2 in touchdowns, so I would like to, boost those numbers up down the week. But I'm going to change it up a bit. I think I'm going to expect Al-Quadin Muhammad to get Aquaman to get another 2 sacks, 2+ sacks.
2 sacks. Wow.
That's my lock of the game. I think he had a hell of a game. He has to be respected. This Bears offensive line is not that great. Joe Flacco is way less mobile than even our vanilla Vic Jared Goff. Jared go off. And I think at the end of the day, you still have to plan for Hutchinson. I would like to even say, you know what? I'm going to up the ante a little bit.
Uh-oh.
I'm going to say we're going to parlay it. Lock of the game is a parlay. We're going to say Al-Quadin Muhammad to get 2 sacks. Aiden Hutchinson's also going to get 2 sacks.
Oh, boy.
And the reason why I'm shifting that up, we're going big on this one. Jake's feeling real cocky today. The big reason for that is we did not play a lot of great teams prior to Hutchinson's injury last year. The Buccaneers were, I think, the best. No, Rams were. But, the Buccaneers and the Rams were the 2 best teams we had. Hutchinson had, 7.5 sacks in 4.5 games before he got injured during that Cowboys game. He is a damn good player. He causes a lot of frustration. He, got a sack. He had a really important punch-out against Derrick Henry that really helped to lead to a Lions victory, even though we didn't capitalize on it. But, it caused, not to speak like a Zoomer, but, it really caused Derrick Henry to crash out and almost bash his head on the bench, which was honestly, I love Derrick Henry, but that was hilarious. I think you still have to plan for Hutchinson, but I think Al-Quadin Muhammad's going to cause a big problem. I think we even see Tyleek Williams potentially get close to his first career sack. You see DJ Reader cause some big issues, but I'm going to parlay it. I think our 2 starting defensive ends each get 2 sacks in this game. I do not trust the Browns offensive line. Different B team. I do not trust their offensive line. And I have a really good feeling that we're going to see some stellar play out of our defensive linemen this week. Specifically our defensive ends. They're going to come crashing hard, and, I'm feeling really good on our defense this week.
All right, and that is Steve's crazy play. No way.
That's Jake's lock of the game. We're parlaying Al-Quadin Muhammad 2 sacks with Aiden Hutchinson 2 sacks. That's going to be 4 sacks from those 2 alone. We'll see if we can pass 7 team-wise, but 2 at least per player. And I would love to see, personally, a repeat of that Cardinals game and just see Aiden Hutchinson pop off for almost 5 sacks. That would be incredible.
Something's going right. We're gonna feast. We're gonna feast. 50 burger on the table.
All right, so we talked about my lockup. We talked about our matchups to watch. Before we get to everybody's favorite segment, we're going to talk about our score predictions. Little refresh. We went 1-2. So I was the only one who at least predicted the Lions to win this past week, and I was pretty close at 37-34. The score of the game was 38-30. And so, Josh, I'm going to call on you. We got the Browns on Sunday at 1 p.m. What do you think the scores of the game is going to be?
Well, I was going to draw it out, but apparently it's not working. But yep, here we go.
Goes.
Jake, be prepared to bring
The Waymo burger.
the Waymo burger.
50-21.
We're going to drop another 50 burger.
Ooh, I like that.
So we're just going to be averaging a casual 51 per game at home for the first two home games of the year.
If we can put up that much on the Ravens, and then the Bears, obviously, whatever. But firing on all cylinders, we found our footing. Who knows? Maybe Dan's playing a little bit 4D chess with that first loss.
Maybe. Once again, it could ultimately be the thing that propels us to, the 1 seed again. Who knows?
Good.
So
Waymo burgers on Monday.
Sounds good.
Well, whenever we do this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't have a set time. So whenever we decide. Yeah. We'll discuss it on we'll probably discuss on the car ride home. Lyle.
So just to be clear, that was Lions 50.
Lions 50, yes.
Yeah, that's
Is
great.
I did not
Browns
see
to drop
that.
a 50 burger?
Yeah.
Oh, my Lord. What
Just
a
wanted
call.
to make sure.
What a call.
They'll drop something.
Yeah, I think there's going to be some points that are going to be scored in this game, but it's going to be a combination of touchdowns and field goals here. I do think that the Browns have a formidable defense, but I do think the Lions are also going to get a couple of turnovers here that they're going to be able to swing over it into some points. They're going to win this game comfortably. Right now, I've got it Lions 33, Browns 17.
17, okay. So yeah, so we got some pretty high scoring games. I'm going to go a little bit. I do think the Lions win, but I'm gonna reduce the numbers a bit. I'm personally expecting a Lions 26 to Cleveland. We'll say 10, 26 to 10. I think Cleveland's defense has talent out there. Stefanski has coached some pretty darn good defensive seasons. The one a couple years ago when they went to the playoffs, I think they had the best defense in football that year. And they got a lot of those same pieces, plus Myles Garrett disrupting stuff. However, I don't think you can really contain this Lions offense firing on all cylinders for that long. But I do think there will be some plays. I do think the Lions. It's really hard to score that many points consistently. Once again, the Ravens were trying to make NFL history against the Lions to be the first team in NFL history to start the season with 3 straight 40-point games scored. They were not able to do it. So I don't think the Lions have too much of a problem, but I do expect a couple drives to stall out, maybe settle for some field goals. So I'm going to go with 26-10. So let's do a quick little recap. We got what, Josh?
50-21.
Wow.
33-17 Lions.
And then Detroit 26-10. Those are our score predictions for the game.
He's got tricks inside his head, never seen them done before. He's bouncing on
Okay, I got a couple shouts.
Rubbish.
I got a couple shouts out. One to Montgomery. Man, I don't know if we're going to see a better game from him. He was almost like he took the Gibbs role. But anyways,
Career high, yeah.
Awesome. I just loved it. And I love the passing game, so how about that? Number 2.
Oh, he did have a pass in the game.
Yeah, the double pass.
The double pass.
Yeah, for that first
Tight
down,
spiral, and then JG
Back to
threw it.
Goff.
down.
Well, here we
Imagine
go.
Goff would have just took
Here
off.
we go.
I'd have been like, no.
Go.
Cute Cleveland family. Like, no.
I've been kind of against Morton and his play calling.
Why?
Well, I'll tell you, because of 1, 2, 3 down the middle.
That was one game.
That was
yeah.
one
Also,
game, but
I think one of those runs down the middle led to like
He was
78 yards.
he like a rookie. Well, hats off on him today because of the flea flicker and then the
pitch, the option.
The
You
pitch.
did say
The
you
option.
Yeah,
The
in the
option.
previous episode, you did say you'd pat him on the back if he put up another 50, but he 38.
38
I'm
against a
patting on
pretty
the
good
back
team.
Yeah,
for using creativity.
that's a shake his hand.
Yeah.
Yeah. Number 3. We must have the toughest field goal kicker in all the league.
The master.
I know you guys covered these
Master
things
himself.
before, but Bates, what a guy. How much respect did he earn from his team? Tons.
Pound for pound, probably the lightest person on the team, and he took
Probably, yeah.
My hat's off to him. What a great deal. A little negative here. I think Brian Branch and I think it was DJ Reed, was it? Two guys that should have intercepted the ball. They need to go to Gene Hackman and get some stickum. They need to learn how to hang on to potential interception pick sixes.
2 weeks in a row, I
We
think
need
we've seen
that.
that, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, no. No, I was thinking of Green Bay.
Oh, Anzalone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. My last one for this is here Harbaugh,
John or Jim?
whoever we played against.
John.
Yeah. The camera kept going to him, and he didn't have one smile.
He's losing.
Not having fun.
Well, yeah, if you watch most games, he does not smile in those games. And
That's okay.
His brother just looks confused half the time.
He was not
if he doesn't have counter
smiling.
Stanley sitting back behind him telling him what to do, he looks confused.
Give the video guys a lot of credit for making sure that he stayed that way. Okay, now the comparison. The comparison that Harbaugh could have kept the ball on fourth down, but he chose to punt it towards the end of the game, about 4 minutes left or something like that. And I thought he didn't have the time to catch up good enough, so he should have went on fourth down. So you're talking about guts here. The Lions, of course, were fourth down. And what do? Instead of running the ball, they had passed from Goff to St. Brown.
Dad, can I interrupt your segment for a second?
And that is my play of the game. And it's a positive one.
Can I interrupt your segment for a bit on that? For that play, you can thank running the ball for that one because they showed that look a number of times for that fourth down catch, and they ran it every single time, and they were waiting and waiting and waiting until they got that play.
Is that the one that they Gibbs said that they installed like 3 years ago? But never
that's the
That's
option.
the double. Yeah.
Goff
that's
said
double
he
count.
had it in his back pocket every game.
Because they were gonna
didn't
run
know they
that
had
play.
back
They were
pockets
gonna
on
run
their
that play
jerseys.
earlier that game, but then he checked out of it into the QB
I
sneak
gotcha.
on fourth. It was a 4th and 1, 3rd and 1.
Short. 4th and 2, I think.
No, 4th and 2 was the pass. But yeah, because of running that exact same play, giving that exact same look over and over again, was it Emmanuel Acho? He had a post about it where he did it, showed every single play, and it was a run, and they did the same thing. And you could see Marlon Humphrey going further and further up, and that's why he got the flag. Was because he was expecting a run block.
Grab him.
Yeah, you're throwing me way out in left field.
I'm just saying.
You guys know
for running
football,
the football, Dad.
I don't.
I just be
give
thankful
you
for running the football.
All right.
the crazy ideas that come up into this little head.
All right.
So that's a recap. So
that's
now
a recap. What's your play
I
of
know.
the game?
the crazy play of the upcoming game? What is it?
Playing the
Yeah,
Browns.
okay, I'm not done with this yet. You interrupted.
I'm just saying.
I think I'm
Sad
going to
it's
go
got-
on, and you guys miss some sleep.
Was that the Oscar music?
Anyways, my thing.
I was playing you off.
I'm kidding.
I'll say.
Let it roll.
Keep
I'll
going.
say this. I got this to say. I'll go longer if you want. But anyways, guts. When you're talking about guts, who had the guts? Harbaugh or Campbell?
Campbell.
Campbell.
Campbell himself.
Campbell.
Yeah. Well, I think they both have guts. It's just one of them.
So
displays
Yeah, one of them has to carry his
that's
own
the
wheelbarrow.
awesome play.
His guts.
That's the awesome play.
Oh, hold on. You said guts. Sorry, I misheard you.
Yes, I did. This is a PG-rated show.
That's true.
No glory or guts. No glory or guts.
Rewatch it. You'll get it.
You'll get it. It's
I
okay.
don't.
We
You
love
can,
that.
like I said, you can leave me out in left field. I'm okay. I'll find my way back somehow.
UHC, bro. Like head coach.
Anyways, so that covers that. I got that out of my system. Now for how did the Packers lose to Cleveland? Can you explain it to me? And
Defense played pretty good against a stalling offense. Jordan Love didn't play great. That was a big thing.
He had one of those Jordan Love moments.
They stopped Josh Jacobs from busting the game open, and Jordan Love had some really errant throws, very poor throws, and an untimely interception that led to the first touchdown for the Browns late in the game.
Okay. In my case, they're going to be watching St. Brown and Williams and stuff like that. This is going to be the Tesla time. We're going to see a couple touchdowns by Tesla.
Two or more, or three or more?
Two
touchdowns.
Two tutty
because
Tesla.
One per hand.
We have too many good offensive players. In golf, he can hit anybody. You know, golf was good with Tim Patrick, but Tim Patrick's not there.
Yep.
So he's got to develop that so it goes on further. So my idea is Tesla will be the play of the game.
And that's when he gets another nickname.
Right.
What's
Two
his other?
tutty Tesla.
Two tutty Tesla.
T to the 3.
If he runs over somebody, probably Cybertruck.
You got me lost. But
Can't wait for that one.
anyway,
You heard on the podcast first. Somebody's going to call him Cybertruck.
Trademark.
He's going to run somebody over. They're going to call him Cybertruck. I'm calling it now. Trademarking it.
Yeah.
anyway,
Get after me, Elon.
just to make you happy, I say we have 2 wins, and we took the ball first because they deferred. So
Well, we had to take the.
We have to. We can't say no. Double
You
it and
guys
give it to
keep
the next guy.
well, they could always flip some money to the ref, I guess.
This game is delayed because neither team wants the ball.
You know, against ball.
We haven't started. It's 2:00. No one's kicked off.
It's a little sarcastic ball going on.
You know that they haven't seen the hypnotist. The
Call back
referees.
episode 2.
They haven't seen him.
Yeah.
And I thought I
Scheduling
saw
conflict, I'm sure.
thought I saw a couple of cheerleaders went over ready to get the ball to spike it, but the players were too into doing it themselves. So someday we'll see that.
Maybe it'll all come into fruition in one game. It'll all happen.
Thanksgiving for sure.
And
All
this
right.
and this guy that's so good that we almost signed him. What's his name again? The rusher guy. for Cleveland?
Zadarius Smith? Who are you
No,
No, from Cleveland?
Yeah.
Oh, Miles Garrett.
Oh, we never got close to signing him.
Trade.
Well, trading.
thinking.
We were going
Trading
to
for
trade for him.
Yeah,
But
never
anyways,
got close.
I need they need to activate Daniel Bateman and take care of that guy.
All right. Sounds good. So,
Okay.
to recap, Isaac Tesla is going to get 2 touchdowns, and that was Steve's crazy play of the game. Yeah, Steve, my dad. Woo.
Amazing. Could be amazing play of the game. It could
No, it's
be,
crazy because it's wacko. It's out there.
You're saying our wide receiver 4 is going to get 2 tutties against a pretty decent defense. So I would say that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, it's had 2 catches so far this year.
True.
Yeah.
And he played against real tough defense and making those catches.
True.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
So
So
I don't worry about him.
So, all right, everybody. Thank you for watching. That was episode 4 going into week 4 of Outside the Den,
Inside the Barn.
I'm Jake. Here's cousin Lyle. There's Dad with rolling out the crazy plays. There's brother Josh down there. Thank you again for watching. Hopefully, we'll be celebrating next week another Lions victory after
Get those 25 subscribers
That's
up.
right.
Let's
Let's
25
let's
subscribers.
hand out some merch.
Get out some merch. So, once again, thank you for watching. We'll see you next week. One Pride. Go Lions. Dad, sign us out.
I don't have to sign out.
Go Lions, baby. One Pride.
Podcast over. Signing off tonight. Wyatt Intimation. Everything's alright. Oh, Jet, school. Decided right tonight. Lions Nation. Everything's alright.
I think it was 3rd and 1. They would have gone for it.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt.
There you go. Way to punch it in there, girl.
Yeah.
Way to punch it in.
Her victory lap.
That's right.
The sun god is out today.
Do it again. Do it again. Come on, let's do it. Woo!
Tyler,
Come on, Gib. Let's see something more.
All right. Hold him up, boys.
Hey, fourth down. Fourth down. Fourth down. Or, not fourth down. Fourth quarter.
It is fourth down.
It is fourth down. Come on.
This game's going fast, I think. Doesn't it? Wow.
And enough to Gibbs touchdown. No. Oh! 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 Oh, yeah! Woo! Woo! Yes, sir!
Up the middle, didn't you?
That's right.
Who's Ben Johnson? Who's Ben Johnson?
Ben who? Ben has been. Going right? All right. Tyler Brown, trying to keep his name. Trying to keep his name. Oh! He called it! He called it! Woo! No! No!
It was out.
Really?
It looked like it was out.
Oh! Tyler, you had the right aim. Turn it on next time. Turn it on next time.
So close.
Oh. How are we feeling, Jake?
Feeling good.
Tori?
Yep.
All right. Lyle, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling good.
All right, Dad? How are you feeling?
How am I feeling?
Yeah, how are you feeling?
I think the refs suck.
And then on a positive.
Go Lions.
There we go.
My hypnotist.
Warning, they got the TV timeout to decide.
Dan
Gamble.
Gamble.
Yeah, you know it's coming. You know it's coming. Just get ready for it.
Yep.
Prepare
Dan
yourselves.
Gamble. You get that first down, game over. Ah, Jake. We've been waiting for this all of our lives. It's one down. All of our lives. All of our lives. Come on. Make this history. Where's the timeout? Demo! freaking Mo! Freaking Mo!
Let's just let him score. That's the only way we can.
Guess what?